Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Justin Pariseau from Prairie State College, and I'm talking today about written sources and material culture. Much of the material that we work with to learn about history has to do with the use of primary sources, documents that are written very close to the time period in which events have taken place that can tell us about the past. So anything like letters or diaries, journals, newspapers that are written around when events take place. Those are the primary sources that we as historians generally go to help learn about how events took place and who was involved in those events, what was driving those events to happen as they played out. But there's also another whole area of material that we can go to that can help us to learn about past events, and that's material culture. So really think about any of the objects that people will, in essence, use in the course of their daily lives that could potentially tell us something about what life was like, especially if those objects are coming from a time period in which primary sources may not exist. So something as simple as a drinking vessel, for example, could tell us a lot about people in any given time period. I have today as an example of that a reproduction of a cup that you can see here on the screen. This is an object that dates to the 17th century. And if we look at some parts of the piece here, you can see that this doesn't look like your ordinary coffee cup that you might have used this morning. There are multiple handles on it that would be used by someone to be able to share the cup. Or potentially, if one of the handles were to break, you don't have to throw out the object. It could still be used with the remaining handles. There's also some decorative motifs that you can see here as well that might illustrate something about the people in question, especially if there's not a lot of written evidence to give us additional information about them. Some of the aesthetic appeal of the cup might be something of interest to a scholar, but also the fact that it could be reused could also be very helpful for us to know. We don't often have the whole object though, so there are parts of objects that can tell us a lot about people, especially when documents might not be around to give us additional evidence about their lives. And I have an example of that today. This is an armorial seal that would be on a wine bottle dating back to the colonial period, so 1600s, 1700s, right around there. And this object, if it's found in situ, essentially in context by an archaeologist, could let us know a lot about different aspects of daily life. If you find a lot of these, you know that they're going to be consuming a lot of wine on site. There would be a lot of wine bottles that would be there alongside these seals. In addition to that, the seals are unique, so you can see the detail work that's on here. This would give us a really good idea of who might have been on site. So the coat of arms that appears on a lot of these seals can tell us a lot about the people who might have been using them. So you don't even have to have the whole object in all cases to be able to tell a lot about the people who might have been living on site. And last object I wanted to share with you today is actually something that you can probably easily recognize. It's a coin, although in this case not something that's in circulation today. This is an Elizabethan era reproduction coin that dates back to the time of Queen Elizabeth I. And this one matters in part, and I'll try to give you a closer look at it. Let's see here. The image of Queen Elizabeth is on the coin itself, so that identifies the time period in which the coin will be coming from. On the back side, if I turn it around, you can also see the English seal that's on there, and hopefully make out some of the other detail there as well. There's a date on there, 1602. So coins can be especially helpful in terms of using material culture to learn about people because they can give us information about political leadership. Who appears on the coin can be very telling. The choices that are made there are very intentional. Also, the dates of the coin can be really helpful as well to help date an archaeological site. So for historians and archaeologists trying to figure out what was going on at a specific dig site, those coins can help people to date the site to learn more about them. So I hope this video has helped you to make a little bit more sense of how material culture can help us to learn about the past. We certainly rely a lot on primary sources and documents, but that's not the whole picture. Material culture can really help us to fill out that picture and add a lot more detail to the historical record. So thanks for your interest. I hope you enjoy the video and enjoy the rest of the course content.